The moon cast its eerie glow above the Ganges River as Vivek stepped out of the boat and onto the ancient ghats of Varanasi. The air is thick with scents of incense and decay, a deadly combination that appears to cling to every stone. Rakesh, his guide, whispered one word. Tonight, we uncover the secrets of the river. As they walked along the riverbank, whispers seemed to follow them. "What is that?" Vivek asked in a whisper, his voice not much above a whisper. Rakesh's eyes sparkled in the moonlight. "Some say it's the spirits of those who drowned in the Ganges. Others claim it's the river itself warning us away." Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Mira, her eyes haunted. "You shouldn't be here," she warned. "The river has a way of keeping its secrets, and its victims." Vivek felt a chill run down his spine. "What do you mean?" Mira vanished as quickly as she appeared, leaving Vivek with more questions than answers. The sudden disappearance of Mira made Vivek and Rakesh go dazed. There was only silence for a while, only the gentle lapping of Ganges against the shore. It was Rakesh who finally spoke in a low, cautionary voice. "We have to be careful. Mira's warning cannot be lightly dismissed." He nodded, though his curiosity was piqued. "Let's find out more about her. Maybe she can lead us to the heart of this mystery." As they ventured deeper, the shadows somehow seemed to have grown longer, darker, or even alive, and watching over them. Ultimately, they went to a hidden, ancient, small temple, secluded in a corner of a tiny alley. This place was marked by an unnatural heaviness, as if by some otherworldly presence hanging in the air. Inside, they found Sandeep, a skeptic who had joined their group earlier that day. He was examining the intricate carvings on the walls. "These symbols are from an ancient dialect," he explained. "They speak of a curse that haunts the river." Manish, so far silent, spoke up now. "I have heard tales of such a curse. They say that whosoever goes against the Ganges' tranquility will experience unimaginable terrors." Pranav was a photographer at heart. He clicked pictures of the symbols. His flash lighted up the dark space. "I've never seen something like this. It's as if the temple is trying to tell us something." Just then, Nisha appeared at the entrance, her eyes gleaming with a mixture of fear and warning. "You shouldn't have come here. Now you're part of it." Nisha's words hung in the air like a challenge, her gaze piercing through the darkness of the temple. Vivek felt a shiver run down his spine as he approached her. "What do you mean? What is it?" Nisha blinks at her audience. Then she gazes into each one's face and looks at Vivek again before saying, "The curse of the Ganges, an old tale, generations ago. It goes as this. He who will tamper with its tranquility would be ravished by the very anger it produces." Rakesh pushed ahead of her into the spotlight of conversation, asking with both inquisitive interest and mortal fear in his voice, "What exactly is the disturbance to that peace?" Nisha's voice was barely above a whisper. "The river is said to hold the souls of those who have drowned in its waters. If you hear their screams, it's a sign that you're being called. Once you hear them, there's no turning back." Sandeep snorted. "That's just a myth. There's always a logical explanation." But before he could continue, a chilling scream was echoed through the night air, sending their spines shaking. It seemed to come from all directions at once, haunting and mournful. Pranav's eyes grew wide. What was that? Vivek's heart was racing. It sounds like screams on the water. Manish's voice is laced with a sense of foreboding. "I think we've just been called." As they came out of the temple, they saw Sneha standing by the river, her eyes fixed on something in the distance. "Look," she whispered, pointing towards the water. A figure was floating on the surface, its face twisted in a silent scream. The sight of the figure floating on water made Vivek's veins send chills. Rakesh grabbed his arm and pulled him back. "Don't go near it. We don't know what it is." But Vivek felt an urge towards the figure. He pushed Rakesh's grip aside and walked into the water. As he drew closer, he saw that it was a woman, her face contorted in a silent scream. And then she just disappeared under the water. Vivek went back, gasping for air. "What happened?" Sandeep spoke skeptically. "It must have been a trick of light." But Manish was shaking his head. "I saw it too. It was real." Pranav clicked a few more shots, his camera capturing the haunted atmosphere. "I think we have something here. Something big." As they walked back toward the shore, Raksha reappeared, with eyes that reflected a deep sorrow. "You shouldn't have come here. Now you've seen it. The river will not let you go." Raksha took them to a small, hidden hut on the outskirts of the city. She started telling a story that had been passed from generation to generation. The Ganges is not just a river, it's a gateway to the afterlife. Those who die in its waters are said to achieve moksha, liberation from the cycle of rebirth. He listened, mesmerized by the myth. But what about the screams? What do they mean? Raksha's voice was grave. The screams are the cries of those who were not meant to die. They are trapped between worlds, unable to move on. Sandeep raised an eyebrow. "That's just a myth. There must be a scientific explanation." But before he could go any further, a scream that could shatter glass cut through the night air, and all of them jumped. As night fell, Vivek and his group decided to explore the Ghats in the hope of finding more clues. The moon cast eerie shadows on the stone steps, and the wind carried whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. Pranav clicked pictures, capturing the haunting beauty of the Ghats. "This place is incredible, but I feel like we're being watched." Manish nodded. "I feel it too. The spirits seem to be waiting for us." Without warning, Nisha stood right beside them with eyes gleaming in fear mixed with urgency. "You should leave now. The river is getting agitated." It was too late in any case. The water was churning when a figure suddenly emerged from it. It was Mira, whose eyes had blackened like coal. Mira's eyes seemed to bore into their souls as she approached them. Vivek felt a chill run down his spine. "Mira, what's happening to you?" But Mira didn't respond. Instead, she reached out and grasped Vivek's arm, her grip icy cold. "You should not have come here," she whispered, her voice not her own. Rakesh tried to intervene, but Mira's strength was unnatural. She pulled Vivek towards the water, and he felt himself being dragged into the river. Sandeep and Manish managed to pull him back, but not before Mira whispered a haunting phrase in his ear. "The river will claim you." Hoping to find some answers, the group ventured into an ancient temple deep in the woods. The air was sticky with incense smoke, and the walls were covered in symbols of protection. Pranav studied the carvings on the wall. "These symbols are meant to protect evil spirits. Maybe they can tell us what's going on." Raksha stood there, her eyes full of profound wisdom. "The temple contains secrets, but it also holds dangers. Be careful about what you find out." As they ventured deeper into the temple, they discovered a secret chamber, which was laden with ancient relics. But to their surprise, Sneha was also there, with an otherworldly light glinting in her eyes. Sneha's eyes seemed to hide a secret as she led them through the hidden chamber. The air was heavy with an eerie energy, and the artifacts seemed to whisper tales of the past. Vivek read an ancient scroll. "This speaks of a ritual to calm the river's wrath. Maybe it's our only hope." But Sandeep was skeptical. "Rituals are just superstitions. We need a logical solution." Manish dissented. "At times, to comprehend the occult, one must embrace it." As they debated, the room began to shudder, and the artifacts lit up with a strange glow. With the temple shaking around them, they resolved to perform the ritual. Raksha led them through the ancient ceremony, reciting words that seemed to pacify the air. But just as they finished, A loud scream echoed through the chamber, and the artifacts fell silent. Mira appeared, her eyes back to normal. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I was possessed by the river's spirit." Vivek felt a mix of relief and fear. "What does this mean? Is the curse broken?" Mira shook her head. "The curse is not broken. It's just beginning." As they walked out of the temple, the scene before their eyes chilled blood. The Ganges was in turmoil as its waters seemed to rise and churn with uncontrolled fury. Pranav took pictures with his camera. This was surely a scene worthy of fear and horror. "This is unnatural. The river is angry," he said with fear. Rakesh tried to pull up Vivek by the arm. "We gotta get out of here now." The waters rose rapidly as though to swallow them whole. Vivek and his group hugged each other so that they didn't drown. "Sandeep, this is crazy. We're going to die." But Manish was calm. "We have to keep moving. We can't give up." They were fighting to keep themselves above the water. They could see figures floating in the distance. These were the spirits of those who had drowned in the Ganges, and their eyes were fixed on the group. The spirits drew closer. Their eyes had a deep longing. Vivek felt a peace wash over him, as if they were welcoming him to their world. Over the cacophony of roaring water, Raksha could hardly whisper anything. "They aren't here to harm you. They're guiding you." Sandeep looked very frightened. No, this is happening. We should get out from here." They kept their eyes, which watched, until the spirits went away into a faint shadow with the signboard written into the water, as it says, "Go up this stream along the headwaters." Having gotten along the receding floodwaters, they thought they would take off in pursuit of the river from its origin. The journey was not easy, but they felt so curious and threatened. Pranav snapped this breathtaking view in his photographs, with a tale to tell, beauty and danger intertwined. "Wow, this is incredible. I feel that we are being dragged into some sort of trap." Manish nodded. "We should put our trust on the spirits, for they want us to see this." It had begun to grow chilly as they went higher and narrower into a stream. At last they had reached the source, a placid lake enclosed by mountains. The lake was calm. The waters of this lake were calm, mirroring the beauty of the surrounding mountains. However, as they got closer to the shore, something felt uneasy in them. Raksha's voice was full of deep wisdom. "This is where the river begins, but it's also where the curse starts. You must make a choice, to break the curse or to succumb to its power." Vivek looked at his friends, seeing the fear and determination in their eyes. "We have to break the curse. We can't let it consume us." However, before they could complete the ritual, a figure comes out of nowhere. It is Sneha. Her eyes contain some otherworldly energy. Sneha's eyes contained a mystery as she drew closer to them. "I've been waiting for you," she whispered. "You see, I'm not just a local. I am the guardian of the curse." A chill ran down Vivek's spine. "What do you mean?" Sneha's smile was haunting. "I have been maintaining the curse alive, making sure that the river's power stays strong." Raksha stepped forward, her eyes filled with deep determination. "We won't let you carry on with this. We'll break the curse once and for all." With Sneha's powers against them, they conducted the final ritual. The air was filled with an intense energy as they chanted the ancient words. Slowly, the curse dissipated and the river's wrath settled. Sneha's eyes slowly became back to normal, and she smiled in final relief from her duty. As they stood together, triumphant yet shaken, Vivek realized that some secrets are better left unspoken. But they had uncovered the truth, and in doing so, they had freed themselves and the river from the curse. Rakesh turned to the group, relief washing over him. "We did it. We broke the curse." But Manish's eyes were somber. "At what cost? We've seen things that can't be unseen." Pranav nodded, his camera still clutched in his hand. But we have the story of a lifetime. A story that will haunt readers for years to come. As they moved back down the mountain, the river flowed peacefully alongside them, its secrets finally laid to rest. But the screams on the water would never be forgotten. Vivek turned his head around and looked at the serene lake, now freed from the curse. We may have solved one mystery, but there are countless others waiting to be uncovered. The group nodded, already planning the next adventure. And so our journey ends, but the secrets of the ancient world remain. If you enjoy Screams on the Water, please like, comment, and subscribe for more thrilling tales and adventures. Comment below what you think of the story and what you liked most about it. Stay tuned for more updates, and thanks for joining us on this spooky journey.